Spring/summer 2026 fashion trends. You'll absolutely love 20 chic styles and must-have looks. Introduction. Welcome to Aurelia Fashions, where I explore fashion in a way that feels personal, expressive, and truly wearable. Today, I'm diving into spring-summer 2026 fashion trends that I genuinely believe you'll absolutely love. I think this season feels different, lighter, more intentional, and surprisingly emotional. What I find interesting is how trends are no longer just about aesthetics, but about how they make us feel. Have you ever noticed how certain styles instantly shift your mood? A shift toward effortless dressing. I think one of the biggest changes this season is the move toward effortless dressing. In my experience, people are choosing comfort without sacrificing elegance. What I find interesting is how relaxed silhouettes are replacing overly structured pieces. Unlike past seasons that demanded precision, this one embraces ease. That shift feels both refreshing and necessary. The rise of soft tailoring. Soft tailoring is everywhere, and I think it's redefining modern sophistication. Blazers feel lighter, trousers flow more naturally, and nothing feels restrictive. What I find interesting is how this approach allows personality to come through. In my experience, when clothes feel comfortable, confidence follows. It's a subtle but powerful transformation. Sheer layers and transparency. Sheer fabrics are making a strong statement this season. I think they work because they create dimension without heaviness. What I find interesting is how transparency can feel both bold and delicate at the same time. Unlike overly revealing styles, these looks are about suggestion rather than exposure. It's a nuanced way of expressing confidence. The return of feminine silhouettes. I've noticed a clear return to softer, more feminine shapes. I think flowing dresses and cinched waists are making a quiet comeback. What I find interesting is how these silhouettes feel modern rather than nostalgic. In my experience, they strike a balance between structure and movement. It's femininity reimagined. Muted yet expressive color palettes. Color this season feels thoughtful and intentional. I think muted tones like sage, butter yellow, and dusty rose are taking center stage. What I find interesting is how these colors express emotion without being overwhelming. Unlike bold neon trends, these shades feel calming and wearable. They invite you in rather than demand attention. Statement minimalism. I think minimalism has evolved into something much more expressive. It's no longer about doing less, but about doing it better. What I find interesting is how a single well-designed piece can carry an entire outfit. In my experience, this approach feels more sustainable and refined. It's simplicity with purpose. Texture as a key element. Texture is playing a huge role this season, and I think it's often underestimated. Linen, crochet, and ribbed fabrics add depth without complexity. What I find interesting is how texture can make even neutral outfits feel rich. In my experience, it's these small details that elevate a look. It's subtle but incredibly effective. Relaxed denim reinvented. Denim is taking a more relaxed direction, and I think it's long overdue. Wide leg cuts and softer washes are replacing rigid styles. What I find interesting is how this shift makes denim feel more versatile. Unlike skinny jeans that can feel limiting, these styles offer freedom. It's casual but elevated. The power of matching sets. Matching sets are everywhere, and I think they simplify styling beautifully. In my experience, they remove the guesswork while still looking polished. What I find interesting is how coordinated pieces create a cohesive look instantly. Unlike mixing and matching, this feels intentional and effortless. It's fashion made easy. Bold accessories with restraint. Accessories this season are bold, but in a controlled way. I think oversized earrings and sculptural bags add personality without overwhelming the outfit. What I find interesting is how one statement piece can transform everything. In my experience, restraint is what makes bold choices work. It's all about balance. Comfort-driven footwear. Footwear is becoming more practical, and I think that's a welcome change. Flats, sandals, and low heels are dominating the runways. What I find interesting is how comfort is no longer seen as a compromise. Unlike towering heels, these options feel grounded and wearable. Style you can actually live in. The influence of quiet luxury. Quiet luxury continues to shape the fashion landscape. I think it's about quality, craftsmanship, and understated elegance. What I find interesting is how this trend moves away from logos and obvious branding. In my experience, it feels more personal and authentic. It's luxury that speaks softly. Playful yet controlled experimentation. There's a sense of playfulness this season that I really enjoy. I think designers are experimenting, but with intention. What I find interesting is how unexpected combinations still feel cohesive. Unlike chaotic trends, this feels curated. It's creativity with direction. Sustainability as a core value. Sustainability is no longer optional, and I think that's a positive shift. Natural fabrics and timeless designs are becoming more important. What I find interesting is how this focus influences both design and consumption. In my experience, people are thinking more long-term. It's fashion with responsibility. Why these trends feel different. I think what sets this season apart is its emotional depth. These trends aren't just about looking good, they're about feeling aligned. What I find interesting is how fashion is becoming more personal. Unlike trend-driven dressing, this feels intentional. It's a deeper connection to style. Personal style in 2026. Personally, I feel this is the perfect time to refine your style. I think trends are offering guidance rather than rules. What I find interesting is how individuality is being celebrated more than ever. In my experience, this creates more freedom. It's about expressing who you are. Bringing trends into everyday life. When I think about applying these trends, I focus on practicality. I think small changes can make a big impact. What I find interesting is how even one updated piece can refresh your wardrobe. Unlike complete overhauls, this approach feels manageable. It's realistic and effective. A question of style identity. I often wonder how trends shape our identity. I think the way we dress influences how we see ourselves. What I find interesting is how clothing can shift confidence and mood. In my experience, the right outfit changes everything. So I have to ask, what kind of style do you want to embody this season? Conclusion. As I reflect on spring-summer 2026 fashion trends, I think this season is about balance, intention, and authenticity. What I find interesting is how style is becoming more personal and meaningful. In my experience, the best trends are the ones that resonate with you. So tell me, which of these looks are you most excited to try? If you enjoyed this, don't forget to subscribe to Aurelia Fashions for more fashion insights and inspiration.